Aion Classic European release is getting closer, so if you already didn't, it's time to make decision which class you will play as main. In today's video you'll see part of my live stream and find out all about main differences between Templar and Chanter and Sorcerer and Ranger, and what makes these classes very good options to play for Aion Classic European release. Before we start, let me just say subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitch to see more of MMORPG content and of course Aion Classic content in the future. I'm live streaming every evening about 7 o'clock Central European time, so join me to see some gameplay and to find out what is happening in MMORPG and PC gaming world.
What would you suggest for 1 versus 1, Templar or Chanter? Templar seems to get more damage and have ton of defenses. Both of these Barzlooks, Templar and Chanter are kings of 1 versus 1. 1 versus 1, Templar and Chanter can beat any other class. And when you would see fight of Templar against Chanter, to be honest, I'm not sure who will win. Probably Templar. Probably Templar would win. Probably. If it's 1 versus X, neither of those. Templar is better. Templar better, definitely. Templar definitely better, because Templar would be able to survive a longer time. Even the Chanter have mantras and heals and stuff. And Chanter 1 versus X is not good, because that is the only bad side of Chanter class. Also not so high damage in PvE, but that can be done. But however, Chanter is amazing. Chanter 1 versus 1, one of the best classes. Top 3 classes would be Chanter. But 1 versus X, no. Big no. Templar 1 versus 1, best, one of the best, maybe the best class. I have seen Templars here. I'm close. Here, let me show you where I have seen, right? I have seen within the last 10 years, here in this area of the map, here, exactly here, look, I'll show you here. Here. I was watching here so many fights, duels. People were gathering here, right, on Telemachus server, on Storming server. There were like 50, 100 people here all the time playing duels. And I was here studying. I was on my Gladiator, little bit playing duels, but not that much playing as studying. I have seen Templar destroying every other class in 1 versus 1. Even Bard, on the peak of the power, wasn't able to defeat Templar. I repeat that sentence. Even Bard, on the peak of the power, couldn't defeat Templar in 1 versus 1. However, 1 versus X, it's not bad as Chanter. No, it's not bad as Chanter. However, it's also not class like 1 versus X. But then again, like I said, it has, for example, 1 versus X, you'll probably play with your group. Maybe you will not be solo. It has bodyguard. You'll be able to protect some member of your group, right, when it will be needed. There are other support skills which you can also support your group with. You can play Templar also on support way, not only on DPS way, which is actually pretty interesting. I knew one Templar in the past, let's say 5 years ago, Dimi from Greece. He teach me that sentence, Iste oli nubades. Yeah, Iste oli nubades, it's funny. But anyway, that Templar, he was great Templar. Amazing Templar. He was playing support. Full support. Not, and you would say, come on, Templar support, really? Absolutely amazing in group gameplay, right? And 1 versus X, yeah, absolutely, it would be better than Chanter. Both of these characters can survive. Templar, because of many, well, self-healing abilities. For example, I mean Chanter, right? Look at this Chanter. Stamina restoration, beautiful. Recovery spell, beautiful. Shield, protective ward, amazing. So Chanter have mantras, Chanter have buffs, Chanter can heal himself, right? Or herself, right? However, Templar, for example, let me just say Imperial Providence, Stone Skin, right? That skin. Then we have, wait a second, Hand of Healing. I'm talking now out of from my mind. Hand of Healing, recovery 100% of your HP. So regarding survivability, even the Templar is not support kind of class, right? Healing kind of class. Templar can survive a lot. Plate armor, let's not forget. Chanter have chain armor on the other hand. Also not bad. Chain and plate are pretty good, both of these. It's not leather or cloth, right? However, Templar would be, I think, better choice against 1 versus X. I think, in my opinion. Yeah. Did I? Hello again. Friendly reminder that we are one more day closer to release. Exactly. Absolutely true. Exactly. Did I? Welcome to live stream. Welcome to live stream. Nice to see you here. How are you? What about Sorcerer Ranger? From videos, it seems Sorcerer is clunky and needs to cast a lot. Basically good for 1 versus 1 only if you get opener first. But Ranger is mobile and can do damage on the run. So, regarding Sorcerer Ranger, right? First, basic, right? When you look at that basic difference, Sorcerer, cloth kind of class, very squishy, high damage, burst damage, but very squishy because it's cloth. Ranger, leather armor, right? Of Ranger, not that much squishy, still squishy to some point. However, when you compare Ranger with all other classes in Aion Classic, especially in these early patch notes, 1.5, 2.0, 2.5, 3.0, Ranger is one of the best classes. Absolutely one of the best classes. So, a Ranger, very powerful class. And regarding Sorcerer, Sorcerer also need to take in consideration, like I said, glass cannon kind of class, very squishy, high burst damage, very good 1 versus 1, very good against plate classes. Sorcerer is amazing against Gladiator, against Templar, however, very squishy against Assassin or Ranger. So leather kind of classes are actually killers of Sorcerer and Spirit Master, right? So it will be weak against Assassin and Ranger, but in group PvP, Sorcerer have lots of CC abilities. So it will be amazing to play PvE and PvP on Sorcerer, right? A very useful class, but you need to have smart Gladiator with you. If you have a Gladiator noob, like I was on the start, so he will wake up, he will destroy every of your CC. So if you have, for example, if you have like 3 Gladiators in group with you, and if you invite Sorcerer in that group, right, there will be huge problems. Because 3 Gladiators, that's a lot of AoE skills. Gladiator have most of the skills AoEs. And even if you say, guys, be careful, I will CC, I will sleep, something, you know, it will be issues. Especially in PvP, when you have chaotic situation, right? So, however, it doesn't matter. Sorcerer can be really, really amazing class, right? Ranger viable for everything. 1 versus 1, 1 versus X for both. Very, very strong class. And especially, one of the specialities of Ranger, I would say, right? It's not only that it's a cloth killer, right? Killer of Sorcerer and Spirit Master. Because lots of fights will happen in Abyss. Right, you need to take in consideration that lots of fighting will happen depending on which patch note we will get. Regarding Ranger, right, you will either play in lower Abyss, it doesn't matter, or you will play in upper Abyss. Flying map, ranged combat, ranged kind of class like Ranger, physical damage will have huge advantage. It's a huge advantage. For example, also not only in PvP, in Abyss, also during sieges. Right, for example, if I play on Gladiator, even if I have extendable weapon on Gladiator, or on Assassin have big disadvantage in flying combat, right? You will need to get to your target in Abyss, to fly to your target and then hit it. On the other side, Ranger, ranged class, physical damage, you don't need to come close to your target and hit it. You'll be able to hit it much before any Gladiator or any Assassin, and on that way you'll get more points during sieges, more contribution, more Abyss points, more rank, and etc. Right? So, power of the Ranger, right? So that would be my take on Sorcerer Ranger, right? But then again, whatever I say right now regarding different classes, I was talking now, you have asked about Templar, Chanter, Sorcerer Ranger. Don't forget one thing. If you have very good gear, like I wouldn't say best in slot, but let's just say very good gear. Let's say it on that way. And if you know to play your class very good, your class can be amazing. I have seen during the last 10 years, and I'm playing Aion now 11 years, I have seen it's true that some patch notes are better for some classes, right? Some patch notes, you get a little bit nerf of that class, you get a little bit buff of that class. Sometimes they have Bard was powerful. We don't have Bard in Aion Classic, don't worry about that. Gladiator have get buffed, sometimes Chanter have get buff, Ranger have get nerf, Assassin have buff. But in generally, right, in generally speaking, I have seen every class, really every class, from Sorcerer, from Chanter to Templar to Gladiator, to able to destroy, to crush down beautiful gameplay in 1 versus 1 and in group gameplay from every class. But you need to have very good gear and you need to know how to play your class, right? Miracles can be achieved, basically, right? And there is no bad class in Aion. You just need to pick which class is the best for your gameplay style and in which you enjoy the most, right? And that's it, right? And of course, will you play more PvE? Or maybe you will play more PvP? Or will you play mostly solo? Or, wait a second, maybe you will play mostly group kind of content. Will you go for, another question, will you go for ranking list? Will you go for Abyss points farming? Or you don't care about ranking list, maybe you will go into crafting. All depends, right? Or maybe also another question, how much time you have to play the game? If you have lots of time to play the game, if you can play like 24/7, not exactly 24/7, but you know what I mean, then you could play Templar, because Templar requires lots of time because of the gear, right? Farming gear. If you don't have time, for example, Sorcerer and Ranger would be perfect classes for you, because Sorcerer and Ranger don't require that much time to get the gear. Actually, let me rephrase that. Sorcerer and Ranger don't need best in slot. You don't need to have best gear in game possible to be viable on your Sorcerer and Ranger. Even on decent gear, let's say you have a decent gear in game, you'll be able to play Ranger and Sorcerer absolutely amazing. However, Templar, no. Decent gear is not enough on your Templar. Just one example, right? So there are many factors which you need to take in consideration when you are picking between, we are talking here this evening, right now about Templar and Chanter, 1 versus X, right, or 1 versus 1, and Sorcerer and Ranger, right? Many things you need to take in consideration when we are talking about this, right?
If you are watching my live stream, let's go forward the live stream. If you are watching this as video on my YouTube channel, thank you for watching the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more of Aion Classic videos in the future. I'm live streaming every evening about 7 o'clock Central European time, so join me to see some gameplay and to find out what is happening in MMORPG and PC gaming world. See you soon.